Welcome to another foundational video in the cybersecurity series. Today, we are diving into something that affects everyone. Whether you are running a business, applying a job, using a dating app, or checking your email, we are talking about cyber attacks and online scam. And this is not just an old school one. We are going to cover how AI is now being used to make scams faster, smarter, and harder to detect. So let's break it down. By the end of this video, you would understand what these attacks look like, how they work, how to protect yourself and others. So let's kick off. What is a cyber attack? A cyber attack is a deliberate attempt to steal, damage, or manipulate data, disrupt systems, and also make sure that you're unable to perform any activity. It also gains unauthorized access to users' resources. And these attacks don't just happen to big tech companies, small businesses, churches, schools, hospitals, or personal phone. You can also be a target. Let's talk about social engineering technique. Social engineering is one of the common methods of attack. Social engineering is when hackers manipulate you into giving out information that you wouldn't have given. Talk about sensitive information. So it's a psychological hacking. And phishing is when hackers pretend to be someone you trust, like your bank, your boss, Amazon, and it convinces you to click on a link or open an attachment. Example, when you get a PayPal message that a suspicious activity has happened on your account, what do? So you get confused, you click on the link, and then it asks for your credentials. In this way, they get your information, like your login information, and sometimes you will get calls. Vision. Okay, vision is when they call you acting like, hey, your social security has been blocked. I'm calling you from the IRS. The goal is to gain sensitive information. And we have smishing. Example of the common ones that are happening these days is when they text you, oh, this toll, you violated the toll services, or your goods couldn't be delivered. Their goal is to actually convince you into landing on clicking on these links. And other ones that they do are fake jobs. So the example, recruiters can advertise fake jobs like remote jobs, where you actually go and click on the link, and then boom, your account gets compromised, your system gets compromised. So the reason why it's important to know that these attacks are happening every day is because you need to protect yourself. You need to know how to defend yourself. Now, a popular one is also ransomware. So ransomware is one of the most devastating attacks. Ransomware encrypts your files and make them inaccessible, and then the demand for payment often is crypto to unlock them. So a real example was in 2021, the Colonial Pipeline hit a ransomware attack. They distracted the fuel across East Coast and they paid 4.4 million ransom. Yes, the other attack are Trojans, malware, and then they install these things on your computers. And once you click on this, your system gets compromised. So malware spread across systems and networks. Be mindful of these and be mindful of what you click. Spyware also secretly records activities on your browser's history. And so once you're browsing, be mindful of what you click. When you see free things, whenever the link is too suspicious, do not click. I always say stop, think, look before you click. The rise in AI has also increased attacks, and now attackers are able to write more convincing phishing emails. So deepfake voices and scan of public data like LinkedIn target individuals, and then they are able to send you personalized message. So a deepfake threat was the common one that happened was a recent one when someone received an email to transfer 250K, and this actually led the account, the system to be compromised. So the user actually transferred the money because he hopped on the call and saw multiple people who are company workers like herself, and she was convinced to send it. So first thing you need to do is to make sure that you are training yourself, you are training your employees, you are mindful, you are cautious of this attack, right? So how do you protect yourself against all these type of attacks? The rise in AI scams are creating more convincing and sophisticated attacks for people to identify. So what do? Always trust your gut. When in doubt, I always say just throw it out. If you're not sure about a message, be mindful of it. And also be mindful when you are clicking on links. hover over the URL and make sure that it's taking you to the right domain. It is always important for you to educate others if you identify phishing scams. The popular ones that are happening these days is also the pig butchering scams, where you get a message and the attacker lures you into either giving you a job, maybe they send it through WhatsApp, or they actually convinces you to actually be a part of an investment where you donate or where you invest so much money and you don't get the money back. These attacks are rising. A lot of people always say that I will never fall for a phishing attack. But look, these attackers prey on our emotions, and they know that probably you love Macy's, you love Amazon. They track us and they are able to send well-detailed and well-crafted phishing. It is important to stay aware, to stay vigilant, and educate others. When in doubt, I always say throw it out. It is also very important. That is why organizations are looking for people like you to handle roles like security awareness trainer. Your major role will be to educate the users within your organizations to understand how many attacks are happening, the diverse attacks that are happening, and practical ways they can protect themselves, and how they should report these type of phishing. Other things you'll be doing as a security awareness trainer is to run phishing simulations. So these simulations would actually prepare the organization's users to see that whenever there is a real phish, they would report that to you. So cybersecurity starts with you. It is time for us to be more vigilant, and we should stop, think before we click. Let's move to the next session.